right, we are recording.
Wow, this is actually the best chart you've ever put up. This is so nice, clear, concise, clean, and you're maturing.
Yeah, dude, look, I'd be happy to teach you how to like draw trend lines and stuff. Maybe later, maybe after that we record this video. But yeah, no, I'd be more than happy to explain to you how all this stuff
I'm
works.
really good. I'm good, but thank you.
You're welcome. Yeah, so folks, we're here to bring you a very important update on VeChain. We got Mess in here. So we're just gonna give you guys a brief update on the state of VeChain here. So where do you want to start off?
I mean, VeChain, obviously, it's up 12% as we speak. We're seeing a bunch of things happen. If we go maybe to the daily chart here, just to get an idea of what's happening on a macro scale. Overall, we've been following the channel. We've been looking at VeChain for a while, almost daily. People hate it, but that is what it is. Overall, yeah, today we were pushing from the, what is it here, 16 cent all the way to the 19, 20 cent, and we're seeing some sort of retracement right now. The whole market is up, so that's good. Bitcoin is having some nice movement upwards, so that's good. But overall, VeChain was basically in this, I would say, wedge over here, somewhere here, and we failed to continue to break or reach the apex. Typically, we were uptrending into this wedge, got to get to the apex. From a technical standpoint, all traders would be looking for if you're uptrending into it, you're also uptrending out of it. We break above and then continue to move upward based on the base of this triangle. The whole market fell off. Everybody was crying. Everybody was in panic mode, Brendan included. 100%. And as we start to retrace all the way down here, you can see, man, like with the whole market actually dropping, VeChain was still getting bought up like it's nothing, and now we're trying to push back upwards.
Yeah, 100%. And folks, look, we've had a very, very decent correction with VeChain. From all-time highs, we've dropped about 53%. That's pretty substantial. So right now, I think we're just forming this more macro descending triangle, and like you can draw this slightly different ways. Ultimately, we have a very clear, like slanted resistance trend line here and some support levels here, so that makes a descending triangle. Let's kind of measure how many more days we have. Maybe 11 days, maybe 15 days, 14 days, 2 weeks max, if we start to break down further before we break out of this macro trend. Look, VeChain is a long-term hold for me. I love the fundamentals. For those who don't know, VeChain just improves supply chains through tracking. So I am very bullish on VeChain long-term. It has great fundamentals, real-world partnerships, real-world use cases actually already being used. Regardless of whether we consolidate, over the next few days or so, I'm still holding VeChain for long term. I definitely did not get shaken out by this correction. I thought it was kind of funny, and ultimately these corrections are very healthy for the market, because you don't want something to go up in a straight line forever, because it's very unsustainable. You want periods of correction and consolidation, because yes, they suck in the short term while it's happening, but it makes the next leg up more sustainable when it happens.
No, definitely 100%. That's what it is right now on the daily chart. We're seeing that.
Hey man, you want to turn off your phone? This is a very professional setup here. We're recording.
I'm sorry, guys. I'm just a very prominent businessman here. Yeah, and if we're looking at the indicators over here, you can tell on the daily, the past 3 days or the past 2 days, where we start going to the negative. And yeah, today's we're still basically in the negative. That's compared to the previous price action. So not until we start pushing upward here towards the somewhere in the 20s, low 20s region, is when we start seeing the MACD itself starting to tick up. Stochastic is all the way in the bottom. RSI still has tons of room to go down, so this thing can still go down. But you can tell that even through those dips we're having, through those downward movements we're having, a lot of buyers were still accumulating here. So overall, even if you go back down here to the 12-hour, you'll start seeing that the MACD is starting to downtick. So what happens usually on those slower uptick, what happens on those lower time frames starts to reflect back on those upper time frames, and that's when you start seeing those swing traders or maybe investors start to looking at a very macro scale. Right now, stochastic is in the bottom, MACD ticking up, this is ticking up, and if we're going maybe 4 hours as well, we'll see this is where VeChain actually dropped, found that support, came back to retest it, and then hovered sideways for a bit. So I think this line you drew is where we should anticipate that next resistance to be at. Somewhere, maybe if we push up here close to the maybe 20 cents, I'd say maybe makes sense. Yeah. And then we get rejected until we squeeze somewhere closer to the apex here. But then again, the whole market's crazy. So
Yeah,
anything can happen.
Anything can happen. VeChain loves to bore people to death and then absolutely explode parabolically. And so, look, I think we could probably continue to trend kind of sideways here with VeChain next couple of days, next few weeks, which would be great. You guys want that consolidation period. It makes the next leg up that much more stronger when it happens. So if and when we break up bullishly from this ascending triangle, this red line here, and we get above a key resistance level about 20 cents, if we can get above and hold above that and break above this red line, we could probably see bullish continuation. What we do sometimes here, when we're trying to guesstimate price targets, you're going to take roughly the height of the descending triangle, move it to a potential breakout point. So again, depending on what we break out, our price target
$100 target.
But no, like I think retesting all-time highs, if we break out bullishly, get above 20 cents, I think at the very least retesting all-time highs becomes much more realistic.
Definitely. So right now, not much. We don't really expect much, I guess, to happen. Obviously, we need to see how Bitcoin closes for the day. But we can tell that VeChain is going to be stuck in this range over here until we kind of fully recover and we know where the resistance is. And if this doesn't hold, then we're definitely going back here. And if this doesn't hold, then we're pushing way down here. So really depends on the crypto market right now. But if we're just looking at the technicals for VeChain overall, this is where we're aiming for. So we're just going to be range bound for a bit here until we see a breakout above this guy. So that's pretty much it for me.
Yes. And look, before we end this video, I feel compelled to mention one very important level that we need to be aware of, that being the 200 EMA on the 6 hour. I will not make a VeChain video without mentioning this because it has historically been a very, very key support level. If we look back at VeChain's price history, we can see that every time we tested the 200 EMA on the 6 hour, we held it as support. We see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times held it as support. Historically, very important level. We went pretty near it this time around. So let's say VeChain decides to consolidate a couple of weeks. Maybe we break down further. Maybe we make a higher low from this wick. If we ever retest the 200 EMA on the 6 hour, I think it would be very likely that it's going to act at the very least as temporary support because we can see how it's acted as support historically. And again, what's happened in the past is not a guarantee of what could happen in the future. But is it probable that this is like the act as some kind of support? Is significant support for VeChain, and has in the past this EMA been the best place to buy into VeChain? It has. So, take everything with a grain of salt. Nothing is a guarantee when it comes to investing in crypto. But these are, the most significant levels that you guys need to be aware of. And as well, I always want to shield the channel because, folks, look, I've been talking about VeChain ever since it was about $1.50 on this channel. So it's done, over 10x since we started talking about it. So folks, you really gotta subscribe, comment, and share, and hit that bell icon notified of new uploads. Messin unmuted himself, so I know he has something to say.
No, I'm just saying VeChain never really hit $1.14. So I don't know what you're talking about here, man.
$1? Is that what I said?
That's exactly what you said. And we gotta hold you accountable for false information here, guys. So make sure you comment, like, share, subscribe.
I said that 1.5 cents.
If you want to see a $1.14 VeChain, then make sure you comment below. Thank you very much, guys.
I meant 1.5 cent VeChain. All right, folks, enough for me. Thank you so much for watching. Take care.
Peace.